everyone, and welcome back to Nina's Chelsea Corner. I hope all of you are doing well today, but to get straight into it, I am here with a Carabao Cup Final preview, and I'm joined by Chloe from Redmen TV, Jerry from the Jerry James Show, and Dan from Chelsea Fan TV. We're going to be doing a little bit of an opposition preview here. We've got obviously 2 Liverpool fans, 2 Chelsea fans. It's all going down at Wembley on Sunday, guys. So make sure you're smashing the likes, commenting your thoughts as we go through ours. And if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. But how are you doing, Chloe? How are you?
I'm doing okay. The bounce from yesterday is going to get me through this week. I did say at the beginning of the week, if Liverpool come away with 2 wins, it'll feel almost like a miracle. And to see the second half, that group of lads put in the fight and determination and to win that game, it's made me right up for this final. Let me put it that way.
Amazing. Yeah, you guys are in good form, league leaders. Jerry, how are you feeling about Liverpool at the moment?
A whirlwind of emotions, surprised, happy, excited, like all of the above, to be fair. Just to echo what Chloe said, with the injuries that we've had, with how the season's gone, like I thought there would be a slip up somewhere. It could have been a draw somewhere, some drop points. But the fact we've been able to go and win our games and in such convincing fashion when you look at it on paper, and especially considering that second half, I'm really excited for the Carabao Cup final, to be fair. And I think, yeah, the momentum's with us, even though we've got a lot of injuries and a lot of players out.
Yeah. Dan, it's not been so upbeat for us this season, but we have made it to a final one way or another. How are you feeling about Chelsea at the moment?
Yeah, I'm optimistic. Nevertheless, it's a final for Chelsea. We normally perform. We all know how the finals have gone against Liverpool in recent years, though. They've not been amazing for us. I'm hoping we can put it right for this one. Our recent form's been good. Away from home, we've been good. Luckily for us, this game's also not at home, so I'm hoping we can keep that up.
Yeah, fair enough. A lot of optimism then, guys. But obviously, let's talk about Liverpool first, because in recent weeks, it's obviously been the case that Liverpool are very much the dominant side. You know, you're going in as the favourites, but you've had a few injuries this week, and it's almost kind of playing out as if you're a little bit of the underdogs in this final now. But question to both of you, are you guys worried about your injuries, and do you think that that could possibly take a bad toll on the outcome on Sunday, because you're not so confident, or at least from what I've heard, a few Liverpool fans not so confident? What about you lot?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always confident because Liverpool have proven that in finals, it doesn't matter what players we've got on their pitch. There's just something about Liverpool, especially in cups and tournaments, where we can actually really, really perform. Champions League finals are one. We've had, the Barca come back. When we've had players injured. So we've been able to overcome kind of obstacles as a team. Now, that being said, going into any final with doubts surrounding Mohamed Salah, is obviously Liverpool's best player, been fantastic this season. Jota, who was obviously immense before, obviously he got injured. Curtis Jones, which for me has been arguably Liverpool's best midfielder this season, does worry me because they give us something that they give us that kind of consistency, and especially with Salah, Jota up top, and of course Nunes, they give us that potency, and you know that Liverpool have always got a goal in them. Now, going back to yesterday, although listen, it was a fantastic performance, that first half we struggled to have any cohesion, and that's understandable with our front three. So going into a final where you don't know if the front three will click, you don't know if the midfield will click, it does kind of unsettle me. But I'm confident still. I'm still confident.
Yeah, for me, look, if you actually look at the starting 11 of Liverpool's injured players, it's arguably better than the team that is available right now for Liverpool. It is that good. You know, Szoboszlai and Trent are 2 massive misses, especially Szoboszlai. He sets the counter press. Everything that is, energetic about this side comes through that midfield. And we're going to have to throw Ryan Gravenberch in there, who has had some criticism this season. And I think he's a boss player. I think he'll become a brilliant talent. And I thought he did quite well against Luton, and hopefully he can bring that into the Chelsea final. But all of these lads need to dig deep. And what I will say is look, it felt like against Brentford when we lost, obviously, Darwin Núñez, we lost Curtis Jones and we lost Diogo Jota. It felt like Liverpool in that second half had just had enough and said, no, we're sick and tired of everything going against us. We're going to put it in our own hands and we're going to, really show up for the lads who are missing. And that's what that second half performance felt like. And I'm really hoping that these lads can get over the line for the players who are, injured, but also for the likes of McAllister, who does not know what it's like to win a trophy at Liverpool Football Club. And on Sunday, he gets a little snippet of what it's like to win a trophy, because winning the Carabao Cup is absolutely boss. It's brilliant. But if you can win that alongside something else this season, you will not understand the parade that will go on Jurgen's last, season at Liverpool. And once they get that little sniff of a trophy, hopefully it's the determination to win more this season, and that's what I really hope it sets. But yeah, we'll miss massive players, of course we will, but what I will say is last year Liverpool never failed to surprise me by losing games of football. They always found a new way to lose, and yet this season it's the polar opposite. They never surprised me by the grit, the determination, the fight, and the quality, the ways of just going up that extra gear and taking the game into their own hands. And look, we know Chelsea's going to be a really hard game, but if we set out the correct way, we play our way of football, we've got every chance of winning.
Yeah, I feel like that's quite interesting, because when you talk about injuries, I feel like because what Klopp has done in recent time is he's managed to set up players in those positions where when you take out first teamers that are so good for you, the quality isn't actually just completely taken out of your team. And I think that's already one up that you have on Chelsea, because with us and Dan, I'm sure you'll agree, you never really know what you're going to get, and substitutions more often than not ruin the balance of our game, because we don't have those players that can step up and not take out the quality. I mean, with yourself, you say about Trent, but Connor Bradley has been immense for you guys, against us, even getting his goals. I think he got assists as well, if I'm not wrong. And he's really stepped up to a point where I saw Liverpool fans saying we need to have a conversation about who starts. So, it almost feels like you shouldn't even be too worried with the injury situation, because like I said, I think what Klopp's done is he's managed to integrate these certain players, whereas with us, it's like you don't know what you're going to get. And our bench doesn't look like at times they can do much. And Dan, what do you think? Do you agree with me?
Yeah, I do. I think Chelsea haven't been able to realistically field their full strength squad for like 3 seasons now. So injuries nothing new to us. Honestly, that's the biggest problem, Neens, is we don't know our starting 11. The manager doesn't know his best 11, and he's never really had it available to him. So that's why we're never sure of what Chelsea's going to turn up. We've got lucky, I think, in the last 3 games that we've actually had a little bit more consistency in knowing what team's turning up. Against Villa and against Man City, we've seen the type of Chelsea that's going to have to turn up for us to have any chance of getting a result at Wembley. Obviously, that first half we had against Palace in recent weeks is everything we don't need, which has been too common under Pochettino this season. I think Liverpool fans are obviously concerned about the injuries that you're getting, but I honestly wouldn't be too worried about the injuries that you're getting, only because I'd back up the point you make, Neens, is that I feel like Jurgen Klopp has been exceptional at creating a mentality throughout your whole squad. And he's done it for years now, that no matter who comes in, you guys are able to step up. And I think last night did show that. I think it was just probably a first 45 minutes of Liverpool getting used to who was on the pitch. And also Luton are a tough opposition this season. They've proved that against some really good sides. And it took everything at half-time for Liverpool to sort of fight and step back up to the level where they need to be at. I think that's probably the worst result for Chelsea last night, is Liverpool proving to themselves that no matter what, no matter who's injured, they can go and absolutely dominate a half of football. And doing that recently against Chelsea, we're well aware of the damage Liverpool can cause to us. We've got more injuries going into this final. We don't know who's going to be fit. We don't know if our most experienced players are going to be fit. I'm concerned on that side of things, but the one thing I can find positivity in is the fact that Chelsea have turned up against big teams this season when it's mattered. Obviously, that Liverpool game is probably a bit of an anomaly against a bigger side. We've really struggled against the smaller teams, and that game against City has given me a lot of hope for this final.
Do you know what superpower Chelsea has? It's unpredictability. That's the one quality I know that Chelsea does have. And to be fair, it's not so bad with bringing that into a cup final. I mean, Jurgen Klopp probably doesn't really know what to expect from us either, because we don't know what to expect from us, you know? And it's that sort of thing where we never know what Chelsea's turning up until you actually go to the game, because I had us taking nothing away from the Etihad. You know, when we went there, I thought they'd they'd rip us apart. They had more at stake, game in hand with Arsenal, and obviously Arsenal and who else? Liverpool. Forgot about you guys. Doing so well in the league that, you know, they almost had more. I'm joking. They almost had more to fight for, and I thought they'd punish us, and they didn't. But Jerry, in terms of seeing like how you look at Chelsea right now, do you look at us and still think that, you know, we can be a threat, and do you actually worry about us causing you an upset?
I think you can definitely be a threat. I think I alluded to it earlier that Liverpool are struggling to keep clean sheets at the moment, and obviously not having Alisson is a big miss. Not being able to have the energy in midfield, as Chloe said as well, means that
Kelleher was a superhero in the Carabao Cup final.
No, and that's what I'm saying. So Kelleher, I really like Kelleher, but Alisson is Alisson. Alisson is the best goalkeeper in the world. So to not have someone like that, do you know what I mean, where one little moment may make a difference? If you go to the Luton game as an example, Kelleher makes a great save, but he doesn't tip it around the post. He goes straight into the path of a Luton player. Alisson might catch that, save that, and those are the differences, especially when the games can be so tight. I look at Chelsea though, and I think they can cause us a lot of problems, because they've proven that they're actually quite good at playing through the press. And I know Liverpool are obviously good at a press, and so is City, but they show that they can get in behind, and especially with our flanks where we are going to go and press really high. Bradley's going to try and get high. If Robertson or Gomez plays, they are going to go and try and really press up. There's going to be space either side of the centre-backs. Now, if Jackson can kind of link up as well as he did against City, he's going to cause us a lot of problems, because we've seen Tony do it against Brentford as well. And he is going to go and try and bring others into play, bring Cole Palmer into play. I don't know if Nkunku will play, but he is going to go and try and bring those players. No one knows, but you have got players that obviously can hurt us. Sterling's obviously, you've got pace in your team as well, and pace can always hurt you. So if Pochettino sets up in a similar fashion to how he did against City and tries to give us the ball as opposed to us not having the ball, then I think it will cause us some problems. I think if Chelsea try to go and dominate the ball, I think that's where you could be in a problem, because Liverpool, for me, are the best transition team in transition. So, and that's defensively and offensively as well. So I feel we're more dangerous without the ball, because we know in an instant we can go back to front in 3 seconds and score. Whereas when the onus is on us to kind of sometimes break down teams, we are then susceptible to on the counter. And I think Pochettino may go the latter route as opposed to trying to dominate the ball. So you have got a chance of obviously not dominating, but hurting us in a certain way. I just hope that we're able to nullify those threats. And if we can outscore you, we've got more goals in our team than Chelsea. So that's where the confidence comes from.
Yeah, and you have proven that you can score goals. You know, you've had a number of players on the score sheet recently, so goals haven't been a problem for you, have they? You know, you've got more cutting edge and you're more clinical when it comes to it, because I do believe you probably will give us chances, but the question is, will Chelsea capitalise on them? Because, you know, Man City gave us chances as well, but, you know, we were only able to put one away. So for us, that's been the biggest question. And Dan, like, in terms of our front line, for me, I think it's almost certain that, you know, Cole Palmer and Raheem Sterling will start. Those are the 2 players I can absolutely bag on. You know, they are experienced. Cole Palmer's scored in finals, you know, for City. Sterling's won multiple titles. You know, Chloe, you talk about sort of having winners in the team, but we don't really have any at all. You know, you look at your Van Dijks and stuff that have been there, done that so many times, but we've got a World Cup winner. You know, we've got Raheem Sterling and Cole Palmer that have won titles at City. But apart from that, there's nobody that can really or has really experienced what it takes to walk out the tunnel at a final at Wembley and play there. It's an intimidating place. Dan, do you worry about that? Do you worry that our players might be, you know, nervous, or that they might not have that belief that you need in a final going up against a Liverpool side that have played multiple finals under Jurgen Klopp?
Yeah, for sure. I think that stems right from the very top as well. This new look Chelsea hasn't won anything yet. We're of a new era that's unsure of how to win trophies, which is strange for the club, because in the last 20 years, it's been something that was almost a certainty at Chelsea. What I would say is, I've said from the beginning of the season that if this squad is going to achieve anything, it needs to learn how to win. And the League Cup was the best start to do that. It's the first trophy available to any team in the season, and it can give you a lot to build on and a lot of hope, whether or not that's immediate or whether or not that's over the next few seasons. Learning how to win this trophy is definitely something that we should have focused on. So getting to the final was an absolute must for me and for Pochettino, because we all know that his record in England isn't exactly great when it comes to winning trophies. Massively concerned that the squad isn't full of winners or players that know potentially how a final even feels, the day and everything, the build up and what that might feel like. We've got obviously Enzo, Raheem Sterling's been there, and I'd probably say, although it doesn't look like he's going to play, is Thiago Silva. Cole Palmer's obviously been on the fringes of a very successful team as well, and that's really as far as it stretches. There's no one really in the dressing room for that to kind of drip through from previous Chelsea squads. I mean, Reece will be there. Reece has won that Champions League, and obviously Trevor Chalobah as well. Has been around players that had won, and maybe he understands what it's like to be at Chelsea by coming through the academy. And I'm sure they're going to be in and around the dressing room come that day at Wembley. But yeah, I'm massively concerned, because when it comes to being on the pitch, that final might feel a little bit might just be a bit of a stretch too far, to be honest, for some players that haven't been in a final before and understanding what it feels like. So maybe this is the final where they have it as a learning curve. And then for the next final, they're hungry and they want to go and win. So I'm a bit torn on it, on what it looks like for this Chelsea squad. But yeah, it's a massive concern not having that many winners in the squad when you look at the amount of winners Liverpool have.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I think for us, it's almost a little bit more important as well, though, because you guys are title challenging. You know, you're still in Europa, your favourites for that, you know, another domestic cup also, which we are in also too. But, you know, this is the closest that we're coming to right now. You know, we could literally be lifting a trophy in 2 days, and we never would have thought that, you know, sort of come September, October, when results started going downhill. So I think for us, because this means that it's our most realistic chance at getting some European football as well, because if I have to look at the league and I have to look at the final, it almost thinks, you know, we're this close. And I know that you also mentioned, Chloe, that this is an important cup, but how important is this cup for Liverpool?
I think it's massively important in terms of what the rest of the season could look like. This is the only guaranteed trophy that Jurgen Klopp could pick up. This year, Liverpool could win absolutely no other trophies, so Liverpool have to win this. That's the point there. You know, the title is going to go down to the wire. You've got Manchester City, who just have a monstrous squad, who just have a mentality that's ridiculous, and it's the hope that kills you. You've got Arsenal, who from last season will be hoping to use, you know, the devastation to really fight back and mount back. And we are the team without a lot of players there out of those top three. So yeah, we're top of the table right now, but truthfully that means nothing, because about 13 games to go, that's so much football. We've obviously got Southampton, and that's next midweek, but we're on the fringes of our squad at the moment. So I think Jurgen next midweek is just going to have to put a load of kids out and say, that's the best I can do for now. I've got to rotate my side. I can't keep taking these same 11, 12, 15 players and telling them to go to the well again, because once I overuse them and they pick up injuries, as soon as Sobel or Trent's back, I'm going to have to lob them straight back into the starting 11. And that's how Trent got injured again, obviously, because Conor Bradley, his dad died. There was no way he could have carried on playing after that, and we totally understood that, but it meant that Trent had to start, and we pushed Trent back too soon, and that's sadly what happens. So Liverpool have to go into this final, and they have to treat every single game like a cup final. That's just what it's like now. Any drop points in the league feels like the league's over. That's just what it feels like, sadly. And look, we do have Europa League, but there's a certain Xabi Alonso and a certain Leverkusen over there who are also flying. You know, there's some good sides. You've got the likes of Benfica, you've got Sporting. So there is really some decent sides in Europa League. So this is the only guaranteed final that Jurgen Klopp has. And you have to get him something so he can bow out on a positive note. And look, It could be 1 or 2, it could be 1 or 3, it could be 1 or 4. Who really knows? But you've got to breathe that winning mentality. And how do you do that? By picking up trophies. And once you get the sniff of what winning a trophy feels like for Liverpool, you know, I can just imagine Alexis McAllister stood there in front of our away end after he's potentially won a title and seeing the absolute scenes, and I'm thinking, I want this even more. Imagine what this is going to be like if we could win the Europa League or the Prem. So there is a lot of things going on that we don't have control of right now, that in 2-3 months' time, we might actually, you know, have a better picture of what it looks like. But ultimately, it's a final, and it's the only guaranteed final we have under Jurgen Klopp. So we need to go and win it.
Fair enough. Jerry, in terms of how you're going to set up, what are you expecting from the lineup? And do you think that, I mean, obviously with the injuries that you do have, I think someone like Salah is going to be playing that final for you guys on Sunday. I don't think Nunes is too injured particularly. And obviously he's been finding his feet at Liverpool in the front line for you recently. What are you expecting from your lineup?
A strong lineup. Yeah, for me, I'm looking at Salah, Nunes. I think if Salah's fit, I think he definitely starts. I think that's the reason why.
Where did he's not fit come from? Because he did play against Brentford, didn't he?
He's not fit. No. He's not fit. Both of them are touch and go. Both of them are literally going to be last minute decisions. Apparently, Nunes picked up a muscle injury, just felt it, and we instantly took him off. Salah was cramp and fatigue. And it's very much, you've just got to see if he can make it. I read something like we'd be lucky if either of them make the bench, which doesn't fill me with a lot of hope. But I am like, you never know. Salah's a beast, so he could just, the last minute, take it out of Jurgen Klopp's hands and say, I'm starting. But from everything I've heard this week, it very much seems like we'd be very lucky if one of them started. You know, the best scenario seems like either of them making the bench.
Oh wow! So yeah, that's not news to me, because I did expect it, but I was dealing with some hope. I thought they would be fit, but yeah. So for me, obviously, Salah was, if he's available, even if he's at 70% fit, he's the type of person that's going to be like, I'm playing no matter what. As you said, he's going to try and take it out of Klopp's hands. If not, I think it will be a very similar team to what we played against Luton. We may see Robertson coming for Gomez to give us a bit more balance out wide, and then we can kind of narrow up in the midfield. Apart from that, there's not a lot that we can do. So it would be Kelleher in goal, Virgil van Dijk, of course, captain in the side, with Konate, I think, comes in for Kwanzaa. I think Konate comes in, so I think he was rested because we had the ability to do that. So Konate comes in. Bradley at right back, Robertson with Endo, McAllister and Gravenberch. And up front, it's going to have to be Gakpo, Diaz and Elliott. Apart from that, we haven't got a lot of options if Salah and Nunes aren't available. And we've got to, again, think about it, because if we rush them back and they're out for the rest of the season, what impact does that have on potential Premier League, Europa League?
So it's not at all cost.
Scrap their cup for now, but...
So it's not at all cost. It's not at all cost then. Like, you know, it's
no, because it's like going on to what Chloe said. I know she said, look, we have to win something for Klopp, but a Carabao Cup would feel like a lollipop in a goodie bag after someone's birthday party. It wouldn't be the best like farewell for Klopp after what he's done for Liverpool and how well Liverpool have been and how they've been able to compete with City and so forth. So if we went and kind of left with a Carabao Cup, of course it's great and we won a trophy. But for me personally, it'll feel like the Klopp left with a whimper. It was like, oh, we weren't able to win the Premier League and the Europa League. And especially if a Salah was out for the remainder of the season, touch wood, God forbid, but that would really put a dampener on the season. So we need to win it. And I think if we can, we obviously try our best to go and win it. But I don't think we need to be in a position where it's a Champions League final when we're forcing players to play when they're touch and go, as Chloe said.
I think it's also a point, is that if Salah or Nunes are back and they want to start, which, you know, Salah will, the thing is Harvey Elliott has been an unbelievable substitute. Or it's whether you say if Salah can only do 60 or 70 minutes, it's whether you think Harvey Elliott's best coming off the bench and you given 70 minutes to Salah, or if you start Harvey Elliott and then put your big guns on with 40 to go. Jurgen Klopp's got a massive choice to make, because, you know, what I said, it doesn't sound great on either Núñez or Salah. It seems like last minute you're fighting to be fit, and if you are fit, can you play 90 minutes? And if not, what way do you start your two main lads and have Harvey Elliott coming off the bench, or just start Harvey Elliott and bring the two big lads on with 40 minutes to go? It's a hard choice for Jurgen.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's just cut to the point. Dan, do you back Chelsea in this final, and can we win it on Sunday?
Yeah, I have to back Chelsea. It's what I committed to when I decided to support us. Yeah, I actually do think we can win it. I think if Chelsea are going to be unpredictable, like we've already said, I think that is something that can throw Jurgen Klopp off in his preparation. He doesn't know who Chelsea are going to select to start the game. He's not entirely sure of how we're set up, because we've set up in different ways this season. Obviously, when you're hearing the players that could potentially not be playing for Liverpool, then yeah, it makes you think we do have a chance. But even those players at 70% fitness for 30, 40 minutes is probably enough to do enough damage for Liverpool to go and win that trophy. But yeah, I'm positive. And I think if we get things right and Pochettino's done his prep, don't forget we've had a rest this week, not Liverpool. That could be a big advantage, especially if Liverpool's fitness is causing a few injury problems. So yeah, I'm going to back Chelsea. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to hope that Pochettino and his staff have got things right this week, and they've learnt from that City game where we probably could have come away with 3 points and try and win this game. And I'm backing us. I think we're going to be fitter than Liverpool, that's for sure.
Score prediction?
1-0 Chelsea.
Nice. Chloe, backing Liverpool and score prediction?
Of course. This side just never fails to amaze me. I think it's going to be a really tough game. I hate score predictions. I always feel like I jinx them. I absolutely hate them. So I'll very quietly say 2-1 to the Reds, but it's going to feel like torture. But as for yous, look, Pochettino lost to Liverpool in a Champions League final. He is going to want to beat Jurgen Klopp on this Liverpool side. And also, if you go back to the first day of the season, I thought Liverpool were brilliant for 30 minutes, and then Hughes completely took control of that game. The triangles down our left-hand side was brilliant with the likes of Raheem Sterling, and I think Nkunku's a great player. So I think he will score. I just sadly see that happening. But I'm hoping Liverpool can dig deep. I'm praying that, you know, Salah or Núñez, we were just faking it and they come back and they start and they're absolutely ready to go. But yeah, I can't not back the Reds.
Jerry?
I'm gonna go bold. I'm gonna go bold. I might jinx it. I've not had the tendency to jinx. I've been quite good with my predictions so far this season. I think it's a 3-1 to Liverpool. I really do. I think that victory against the Luton enabled the likes of Bradley, the likes of Kwanzaa, even Dan's that came on. They played with such a confidence because Liverpool was confident, and I've not seen a group of youngsters play that confidently before, especially considering the fact that we had to win the game, knowing that if we don't, as Chloe said, drop points just feels like, do you know what I mean, the title race is over. I think they're going to be up for it. I think Diaz, is it now 4 or 5 games where he scored or assisted in every single game, if I'm correct? So he's going under the radar, but he's starting to perform quite well. And with the space in behind at Wembley, because the pitch is massive, I think that's going to cause Chelsea a lot of problems, because if Diaz can get in behind, if Gakpo can get in behind, if Bradley can do what he did against Chelsea, where Sterling's just a bit lazy tracking back, I think spaces will open up. And the more the game opens up, again, Liverpool are great in transition, and I think we could pick you guys off. So I think 3-1. 3-1 doesn't mean the game won't be tough. I think it still will be. But I think when we look back, the scoreline won't reflect the nature of the game.
I love that nobody said a penalty shootout, which I'm very happy to hear.
We can't do another one. There's just no way. I can't take that. No one at Chelsea can.
As if we didn't draw. 4-0. Fair enough, guys. Chloe, I also hate score predictions. I'm sorry for shoving you in a corner there, so I'm going to have to do one myself. But I did say a little 2-1 to Chelsea. I'm going to go with that. I think it's going to be tight. And that's coming from someone that said 1-0 against you guys at Anfield. So we'll see about that one. But honestly, like Dan said, it depends on how we turn up. It depends on if we're hungry for it mentally. And a cup final is a cup final. Anything can happen. And, you know, I think it is clear that we are still the underdogs in this one. But it will mean a lot if Chelsea can win a trophy on Sunday. And you always back it. You know, we're all going to Wembley. We're all going to Wembley wanting to win. But guys, it's been unreal. Thank you so much for jumping on the channel. Chloe, of course, from Redmen TV. I'll link her channel, their channel, and her socials in the description down below. Jerry, of course, from the Jerry James Show. His channel will also be in the description down below. And of course, my good friend Dan from Chelsea Fan TV. He's also got his own personal channel, which I will link down below. But to everyone watching, make sure you're subscribed, guys. I'm on the road to 4,000 subscribers. So if you can help me get there, and if Chelsea lose, at least I'll have something to take pride in on Sunday. But thank you so much. Make sure you leave your comments as always, and up the Chelsea.